We define behavior as any observable or measurable response or act. In animal training, we have conditioned and unconditioned behaviors. Conditioned behaviors are the result of associated learning, where a stimulus comes associated with a consequence. Unconditioned behaviors are controlled by genes that occur without learning or practice. We can also separate them into emitted and elicited behaviors. Emitted behaviors are those that the animal shows by itself. Unelicited behaviors are solicited by the trainer. When we talk about conditioned behaviors as trainers and caretakers, we usually categorize the behaviors by general objectives, like husbandry behaviors, social or recreational behaviors, interaction behaviors, among many others. We also categorize them by intensity, high energy or low energy, as well as performance characteristics, like compatible or incompatible to other behaviors. And finally, by the goal of the session, target behaviors or alternative behaviors to the target behavior into the session. When we categorize behaviors by performance intensity, we refer to the energy spent by the execution of the behavior. High energy for those that the animal needs to spend more energy, and low energy for the behaviors where the energy loss is minimal. When we categorize behaviors by performance characteristics, we have compatible and incompatible behaviors with the previous and the next ones within the same session. The compatible behaviors have at least one element in common and can happen at the same time as other behaviors. In the following example, the trainer sends the animal for a behavior that is compatible with the next one in this session. The session continues, and the trainer sent for a behavior that is compatible with the previous one. Contains at least one element in common with the previous behavior. Incompatible behaviors cannot occur at the same time as another behavior. Doesn't allow us to reproduce at the same time elements of the previous or next behaviors. Within the same session, the trainer sent an incompatible behavior with the next one. Peg wave, swimming away from the trainer. The session continues, and the trainer sends another incompatible behavior with the previous one. It has elements that are not similar to each other. The option of including into our training sessions incompatible behaviors within the previous or the next ones facilitates the animal to have a correct discrimination of SDs. Once our animals have a high discrimination level, training with compatible behaviors consecutively is possible, and the probability of confused animals decreases. When we categorize by the target of the session, we have two behaviors: the target behavior of the session and the alternative behaviors to the target behavior in the session. Alternative behaviors will be any previously conditioned behavior determined by the trainer and requested among the approximations, successful or unsuccessful, to the desired behavior during the session. In this example, the target behavior is the spinner jump. The trainer considers this behavior was not performed according to criteria and requests an alternative behavior then. Immediately after, the target behavior is asked once again. The alternative behaviors can be compatible or incompatible with the target behavior during the session and can be reinforced regardless of the type of reinforcement of the previous behavior. WIT recommends primary and secondary reinforcement, but this will be the trainer's choice.